So we're now on to a little bit of fixing watercolour mistakes. So I've done a lovely wet and wet sky here, and I just can't resist the temptation to continue to fiddle. And I'm going to put something in, and then I'm going to think, oh, it's not gone how I wanted it to. And I'm going to do another one just here. And now I'm wishing I'd not fiddled because I've got hard edges and I didn't want hard edges. There's different things you can do. So the first thing is to stop fiddling. So do not touch it anymore. You've got several options. The first option is to take a brush, clean it off, dry it off, and lift out. You can lift out that mark and make it into a cloud. You can dab it out with kitchen towel, but you'll get a much more precise mark that looks like it's dabbed out. So that's the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do is dry it. What you must never do is put in more paint or more water, because that will just make the situation much worse. So I'm going to dry this off, and then I'm going to show you how I could also fix that. Okay, so I've dried that off really well. Most things can be rescued if you dry them well. If you keep trying to add paint to something that's damp or wet, you'll just go over the top and it will just end up looking a mess. So dry it off and then think about what you're doing. So I have got a hog hair brush here. It's a soft hog hair brush. Anything that's got a decent amount of spring, I am basically wetting it, dabbing it off so that it's damp, and I am creating now a cloud effect in the sky. So I'm lifting out, and I'm lifting out further than my mistake to blend that in. So I can leave a lovely cloud effect. As you do this, you will notice something about the paper, because there's lots of different papers and there's lots of different ways that this paper will respond. So if it is lifting off really easily and taking it really white, then that means that the paper has got a high size on it, which means it's got a lot of a coating, and it's going to be very easy to lift it off. And you'll be able to create a lovely cloud effect. If when you are doing this it isn't moving as much, then that's got a lower size and it's going to be harder for you to get that to lift out. Either way, there's options. So this is, I'd say, a medium paper. It's coming off fairly easy. I've had worse papers. So I'm going to get quite a nice cloud effect here. So I can still see the mistake from earlier here where I lifted off with the damp brush. So I can bring that and make that cloudy as well. And bring that through. You can see it's all starting to blend. So this could be used in a technique as itself, but this is what I tend to do to fix a mistake. So I've blended that through now, and then the key thing now is you're either happy or you're not, and there's another stage you can do to progress it to make it better if you want to. I'm quite happy with that, but I'm going to show you the next stage. So again, I'm going to dry it off. So I've thoroughly dried that off, and I'm saying that I'm not happy with this sky now. I've made the mistake, I've lifted it off, and I'm not happy with it. I can still see the mistake. That often happens. And there's a way you can try and rectify it by putting it over another wash. So if when you've done this, it's lifted it back to white, you can't then do this process, because as you come on with the water again, it will lift the paint off. So you can only do this really if the paint is going to stay put when you come over with another layer of water. So I've just taken another full layer of water. So if you're doing this over a full sky, you want to go over the whole sky. And then I'm going to come in with some blue again. Now I don't have to hit the whole sky with the blue. I can just fill in the sections that I ended up having to lift out. So I can rectify it that way, and that will settle quite nicely. If when you do this you think, I can still see it, because sometimes some papers it can be really hard to disguise it, then what you need to do is go darker. So that's when you pick up something like a grey and you come in and you create some dark clouds over the top. Going darker will always mask something you don't want to see. There we go, that's covered that up totally.